right, what's up guys? Vivi back with another video. And in today's video, we've got some red, blue, Nefeltari Vivi action lined up for you today. And we also have to talk about a new spoiler. We're going to have to talk about an OP12 leader. We'll go over that shortly here. But let's go ahead and dive straight into the video so we can get straight into this, right? Because we got a lot to talk about today. First up, let me go ahead and lay out the video for you guys to know what you're getting into. We're going to check out the spoiler first. First things first. After that, we're going to check out the deck list we're running for today's video. After that, we got 5 games lined up on the sim, and then we'll finish off the video by checking out the deck list one more time, and, you know, we'll wrap things up in that way. Okay, guys, so without any further ado, let's get into this. I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that down in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the Vivi Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. This video is sponsored by Nin Garden. Their latest spring collection just dropped with 3 new designs, and to celebrate, they are running a spring sale. Buy one, get any classic mat 40% off with the code SPRINGSALE. Plus, use NIN10 for an automatic 10% off at the checkout. You can stack this with my promo code, the Vivi Theory, for an additional 5% off, bringing you to a total of 15% total savings on top of the 40% off. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over the spoiler for today's video. Spoiler warning, okay? You've been warned. If you do not like seeing spoilers, if you don't like seeing the cards this early, you know, super early on, way before they're being released, now's your time to back out. Just hop to the next chapter. I always timestamp everything. You can skip right past this spoiler we're about to do if you don't like spoilers, okay? You've been warned. Now here we go. We're about to check out the very first leader, probably the first card, I think, revealed from OP12, and it is none other than Silver's Rayleigh. We've got a red leader, 5 life, 5,000 power / type leader with former Roger Pirates types. The effect that it has is, per the rules, you cannot have cards with a cost of 5 or greater in your deck. Guys, that is... We'll talk more about that in a second. That's rough. But then it also has activate main once per turn. You may reveal 2 event cards from your hand and then give up to one of your characters with a base power of 4,000 or less plus 2,000 power for this turn. Now, let me say this real quick before we even dive into it. We're not going to dive into this too much right now, but we will be doing that on the stream tonight. We'll probably be talking about this card and trying to brainstorm how we can make it work for at least 3 hours, or around like I always stream for 3 hours, guys. For those who are not aware, I'm getting ahead of myself. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday here on Discord, or excuse me, here on YouTube, I do stream on the channel. Okay, so from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. we stream on YouTube. If you want to know my full thoughts on this, and if you want to ask me questions, I try my best to answer them. But we're going to be talking about this later for probably about 3 hours tonight on stream. If you want to know my full full breakdown of what I think of this leader, make sure to tune in. But other than that, we are going to break it down a little bit here in today's video. Let me start from the top. Per the rules, you cannot have cards with a cost of 5 or greater in your deck. I am already out on this leader, starting right there. Now, yes, of course, I am going to see what happens. We have to see what support comes out. This leader could get some incredible support. If we get some insane support, well, you know, we'll have to see what happens, right? We have no idea. We haven't seen, I don't believe we've seen any other cards yet from OP12. I think this is the first one, right? Someone correct me in the comment section below if I'm off on that. But we don't know anything about the support this leader is going to get in OP12. So that's the first thing, but just imagine some of the cards we will not have access to. All of the 5-cost Rush Luffys and anything that's 5-cost and better. So let's just go through a list of cards that are 5-cost and better that will be available that we know of when this leader is released. So no OP12 cards. So we're talking 5-cost Luffy, 5-cost Marco, 5-cost Yasop, 5-cost Ace, both 5-cost Luffys, I should say. 6-cost, you have the new event. And remember, guys, notice what it says right here. You cannot have cards with a cost of 5 or greater in your deck. So even event cards. So no Honesty Impact, no going into the 7-cost stuff. Ben Beckman, 7-cost Newgate. Going into the 8-cost stuff, we have Rayleigh, Dragon. That is a hard pill to swallow, let me tell you right now. But it doesn't mean we can't make it work, and it doesn't mean the deck will be unplayable. I'll say it one more time. We have to see what support the leader gets, okay? So let's not jump to any conclusions too early on here. Now, the next part of this that concerns me a little bit is the activate main. I get what they're doing, but let me explain. Activate main once per turn. You may reveal 2 event cards from your hand. Oh, man, I just... So now, not only are you trying to... Okay, you're really forcing me to build this deck in a very, very specific way. I have to have cards that have a cost of 4 or less in my deck. No 5 cost or greater in the deck. So I have to build this deck with 4 cost or lower cards in my deck. That's number 1. And then number 2, I have to have a certain amount of events in my deck or I can't even buff, characters that I might want to buff. Okay, so now you're telling me I have to run a certain amount of events in my deck and reveal them to my opponent to give them the information in my hand, just to be able to give up to one of my characters with a base power of 4,000 or less, plus 2,000 power for this turn. So you're giving me all these restrictions, and what's the payoff? I can only buff a character that has a base power of 4,000 or less by 2,000 power only for this turn. It doesn't even carry over to the next turn. Guys, again, this is a rough one here. I'm not going to lie. At first, I thought this was an April Fool's joke. I did think, okay, maybe this is like an early April Fool's joke, and they got us good with this one. But I don't think it is. I could be wrong. We'll see what happens in the future. Maybe they'll announce it afterwards. But I was a little bit disappointed with the way this leader was built, because it was built around 3 conditions that I have to met. So that makes deck building very, very restrictive, right? Very restricting. In order to make this deck work, I have to have cost 4 or lower characters in my deck. I have to have enough events to be able to reveal 2 events just to buff my character. And then on top of that, it can only buff a character with 4,000 power or less, and it doesn't even last until my opponent's next turn. It's just right then and there. And that really hurts, guys. I'm not going to lie. It does hurt. So tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Again, we're going to be talking a lot more about this leader in today's stream. So be sure to, stop by, or tonight's stream, I should say. Be sure to stop by and hang out for a little bit, and we'll talk about it. We'll try to brainstorm how we can make this leader work. But here, this is what's going through my mind. You're putting these 3 major conditions on me. And what's the payoff? I can buff a 4,000 power or lower character plus 2,000 power for this turn, and then I don't get access to any of my 5 cost or greater characters. It's a hard sell, but we'll see what kind of support it gets in OP12 and even in the future. Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and hop over to the deck list for today's video. We do have a deck list to go over before we get into the games. Nefeltari Vivi. Let me go ahead and break down the leader, and then we'll dive into the deck list. It's a 5,000 power, 5 life, red-blue leader, so a 5 life multicolored leader, which means the leader cannot attack. That's usually what that means. There's a few exceptions, like with red-purple Eustace Kid, but typically speaking, a 5,000 power multicolored leader usually only has 4 life and can attack, but this leader cannot attack, so they gave her the extra life. The activate main is once per turn, pay 2, draw 1 card, and give up to one of your characters rush during this turn. So very powerful effect, potentially a potentially very powerful effect there. Paying 2 to draw a card is already pretty good in and of itself, and then you can give characters rush. Now, let's go ahead and break down the deck list. I have to give a quick shout out real quick to my buddy, to one of my local buddies, Gabriel, because he was running this list at the last Friday night big tournament we had, which was around 32 or 33 players, and he went 4-1 with this list, guys. He went 4-1, well, not with this list, excuse me. I don't know what his exact list was, but that's where I got my inspiration for today's video, from a list he was running. So let me break down the list and we'll talk about that. But again, big shout out to Gabriel for coming up with I don't know if he came up with the list, but he brought a list to locals that was very spicy, that looked very similar to what you're seeing on the screen here. Not the exact same, but very similar. So we're running 4 of the EB01 blocker chopper. We're running 4 of the when attacking chopper from OP01. We're running 4 of the 2K counter super spot build duck squad. We're running 4 of the 3 cost 4K chopper that can play out a 3,000 power or lower character and animal character. And then we're running 3 of the 5 cost, we're running 4 of the 3 cost 5K counter chopper. This is one of the main engines in the deck for flooding the board. It has on play and when attacking. Top 5 search for an animal character with 4,000 power or less. Play it rested. Then we're running 4 of the Hiking Bear 2K counter. We're running 4 Silver's Rayleigh, 4 Boa Hancock, 4 of the this card Usi, which is a 2K counter animal character, so we can cheat this out potentially with our chopper. Then we're running 4 Cavendish. We're running 4 of Bad Manners Kit Course. We're running 3 Gum Gum Red Rocks and 3 Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. So understand the entire idea behind this deck is we have solid removal. Okay, we have very strong removal in the form of Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, Red Rock, Boa, and Silver's Rayleigh. Boa is like pseudo removal. It's not even full-on removal. And we'll talk more about the 6-cost slot later because there's another really strong option. We could run like Jozu in the place of Boa, but they both have their merits, and we'll talk more about that later. But hear me out. This character shuts down an attack for the turn, and that is an 8,000 power character. Very hard to deal with. Same thing with Rayleigh. 8 cost 8,000 power character that helps us win the board back. But there's 2 main engines in this deck. Number 1 is like this animal package that we're just cheating out bodies with cards like this, mainly with the Chopper here. We can also cheat out bodies with this Tony Chopper, but the main idea is with this 3 cost 5k to get any of these other animal characters into play. We're also running a pretty large amount of counter power in the deck. We're running 4 Hiking Bear, 4 of the Duck Squad, Super Spot Build Duck Squad, and 4 Uzi on top of 4 0-cost 3k counters. We want to be able to counter out pretty aggressively because we're going to be amassing a pretty big hand size, typically speaking, because we have card draw on Nefeltari Vivi, and we have card draw on Cavendish, okay? So with that in mind, we are drawing cards quite a bit while flooding the board pretty aggressively. We're getting a lot of value in those ways. Okay, so it's nice to be able to counter out super efficiently with the 0-cost 3k here, or lots of 2k counters like I said with the Hiking Bear, the Duck Squad, and Uzi. And other than that, I mean, what you see is what you get, guys. So you got your early game being the more of the animal package, and then going into your late game, you have the Boa Hancock and Silver's Rayleigh package with some really strong top-end removal with Red Rock and with Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. Now, there are like 2 or 3 cards I want to mention. One card that my buddy Gabriel was running, he was running the 10-cost Rush Shanks, and I don't hate that. I do not hate that. That's actually a great way to finish out your curve. But one thing I do want to mention is on my 10 Dawn play, I think I will typically want to play out a Rayleigh and give him Rush and do his effect, right? So that way I can play out an 8-cost 8k, pop a character on the board, -2 another character, and then I can give him Rush with my leader effect for all this for 10 Dawn. 8 to play it, pay 2 to give him Rush and draw a card, and then smash into something on the board. I'm a big fan of that, but I also don't hate this character being in the deck. I actually like that quite a bit. There's room for it for sure. Maybe as a 1 or a 2 of in the deck. Okay, that's the first card I want to talk about. It was the only card that I can remember that I was not running that I did see Gabriel running. There was and then there was one other card. Let me type in blocker. There was one other card. And it was this one right here. Is a 2-cost blocker, Richie, which is actually very smart. It's a 2-cost 2k 1k counter blocker. Okay, what's special about it? It's animal type. So I can actually cheat this out with a Tony Chopper, active, not rested, or I could cheat it out with the okay, that was very confusing because there's so many Tony Choppers. The 3-cost 4,000 power Chopper plays out a animal character card with 3,000 power or less from your hand, active, but the Tony Chopper 3-cost 5k plays out a 4,000 power or less animal type character card, rested. Okay, that's the main difference, but this card pulls out of hand the 3-cost 4k, and the 3-cost 5k looks at your top 5 cards, so there is a big difference there. But yeah, that's really mainly it. Then some other cards that I do recommend that are potentially very strong in the list. I think there might be some argument to even run Jozu over the Boa Hancock. Just straight up a 1-to-1 replacement. As in, let me say it like this, like you literally play out the Jozu, and you're going to pull back a card like Tony Chopper, and then you're going to give him Rush if you have, if you had 8 or more Dawn. So you can give him Rush and start smashing in. You bounce their characters out of the way and go from there. And in that case, on the following turn, on a 10 Dawn turn, if you don't have Silver's Rayleigh or something like that, no problem. You can replay your Tony Chopper to get a character on the board, then give him Rush and draw a card for 2 Dawn. So that's only 5 Dawn for the turn. You get to swing in with him and put another character on the board. You end up doubling up on the effect of your Tony Chopper with your leader's effect. If you have 5 or more Dawn, you can double up on it. And then the Jozu, like I said, I think you just can take 4 Boas out and put 4 Jozus right in. I think it's a solid replacement. Now, there's one other card that I'm really considering adding to the list, and it's actually just this 2-cost Sanji. Because if I'm playing against an opponent that just wants to shut me down, they want to lock me out of the game, okay, well, no problem. Well, I mean, that is a problem, excuse me. So how do I deal with it? If I am running Sanji, it allows me to play this card out as it's a 2K counter in my hand, but then I can also play it out, and I can give him Rush for 2 Dawn, right? I could pay 2 to give him Rush to draw a card, and then use his effect to attach 2 Dawn to him and draw another card from our life, and now he swings in for 7. That is a very, very powerful effect. And let me say one more thing about that. There is a really, really strong mid to late game curve in this deck because we're running Cavendish now, which just came out in OP10. So hear me out. It looks like this. All right, so let's say we're going second. Turn 1, we actually just draw a card with our Nefeltari Vivi leader and pass the turn. Turn 2, we can play out this Tony Chopper, pass the turn. Turn 3, we're on 6 Dawn, right? Play out Cavendish, give him Rush with our leader to draw a card with our leader, and now he has Rush. Swing for 6, draw 2, trash 1. Do y'all see how powerful that is? Then, on the next turn, so that was turn 3, going second on our 6 Dawn turn. On our 8 Dawn turn, it's play out the Boa to lock down one of their characters and draw a card and swing in for 8. Because remember, everything I'm saying, add the Nefeltari Vivi leader effect to, so that we can swing in right away. And then finally, you finish out that curve on 10 Dawn with Silver's Rayleigh, and you smash in, well, excuse me, you play him down, -3 there, -2 there, pop a 3,000 power less over here, and then I'm going to draw a card with my leader effect, give my Silver's Rayleigh Rush, and smash in for 8. So it has a very strong 6 Dawn, 8 Dawn, 10 Dawn curve, and if we add the Sanji, now we actually have a really strong 4 Dawn, 6 Dawn, 8 Dawn, 10 Dawn curve. We can start 1 turn earlier by playing out the Sanji, taking our life aggressively, and smashing in for 7 right away. And I really don't hate that, guys. I think that's actually pretty solid. I really do like that quite a bit. All right, well, that's it, guys. Let's go ahead and that's it for the deck breakdown. If I missed something, or if you're trying other things out, by all means, please mention it in the comment section below. But now we're gonna hop over to the sim, and we're gonna check out what this deck can do. All right, so first game up we have against Red Shanks. The volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Guys, I tried to pick some pretty good matchups for today's to show off today's leader and show off some of the potential that this leader has. We're going to go second, which is ideal for us, which means on turn 1, we're just going to draw a card with our leader effect and pass it back. They play out a Sanji on curve. They had no turn 1 play, which is good for us. We're going to play out a Tony Chopper here. We have 1 Dawn is active, and we're going to pass it back. Another really good card to run, I didn't even mention this, is maybe like a 1-cost event like Guard Point, or maybe even a 1-cost Radical Beam or something like that. Like those are some good options as well. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and swing 8 at face here. We're just going to take it, and then they're going to go 7 into 4. They can have that card. Now, watch this, guys. We're going to swing 5 into 3. Now, they're probably thinking, okay, easy. I'm going to use my leader and 2K counter out, and now he can't attack him for the rest of the turn. Wrong. We're going to play out the Cavendish, draw a card, give him Rush, draw 2, trash 1, 6 into 3. That card's gone, and you see where this game's going now? Look at my hand. I've got a 6 play. I've got to play next turn. I have a curve to go on next turn and the following turn. So here we go. We're going to start off with a 5K attack. Let's see if they choose to use their leader effect here. They probably will use the leader effect here. Oh, they go ahead and take it. Seems good. Now we're going to play out the Boa. His Beckman cannot attack. Our Boa is going to get Rush. We're going to draw a card, and we're smashing in for 8. Now they can leader effect 2K, 1K. We really punished him right there. They thought our turn was over when it was not. Okay, here we go. They're going to play out a Silver's Rayleigh. Seems good. Silver's Rayleigh is very strong into what we're trying to do here. They're going to Building Snake. They really want to get rid of this Boa, but we can 2K to get out of that, guys, and we're going to do that. We are going to do that. We're going to swing in for 5 here. Let's see what they give us. We did get a duck build, or a duck squad, or whatever it's called. Now we're going to swing in for 5 more. They use leader effect on the last one. They're going to take the second hit here, and we're just going to curve out. We're just going to -3 to their board, turn them into 5Ks, and swing in for 8. You see what we're doing here? We are trying to operate on a curve. We do want to keep playing every card we can on the board, get a very big board like we have right now, and then we're gonna play these Gum Red Rocks to remove anything big that they play now that we're at this point. Okay, let's see what they go ahead and let's see what they decide to do. They're going to swing for 5. We're not going to give them anything for free like that on little 5K hits. We're at least going to counter out of that, even if it takes every card from our hand. We don't give them any 2Ks because our board is full. And here we go. They're going to Divine Departure to get rid of our Rayleigh. I didn't even see what they did. Oh, excuse me. It does it can KO in 8,000 or less. Very nice. They're going to play out Tony Chopper. I'm seeing what all I can get out of my trash. The answer is I can't get anything with that Tony Chopper. So if we're going to keep that card in the deck, maybe we need to revise it a little bit. But currently I can't get anything out of my deck with that Tony Chopper. Out of my trash, rather. I don't even know if I can get anything out of the deck with it either. We're going to swing for 5 into 5 here. He's going to use his leader effect. We're going to swing for 8. We're going to play out a Boa. We're going to lock down another card. And now we're going to go 9 into 5. We are trying to blitz them down. Now, pause. Let me go back and read what this card does. This Duck Squad, let me show you guys what this... I forgot to read this when we were breaking down the deck list. This is just a 2K counter, right? But check out what it does. We can cheat this out with our Chopper, right? It has, when attacking, give up to one of your active leaders minus 5,000 power during this turn, and then you can return this card to your hand at the end of your turn. So I'm going to get to swing in for 3 here. It's not going to do anything. It's going to bounce, but now I get a 2K counter back to my hand. So that is a nice card to be able to cheat out with your Chopper if you need to. Okay, so here we go. Nothing happens. It goes back to our hand at the end of turn, and now our hand is 2K, 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 1K, 0 cost 3K. So we have a lot of counter power in hand. Okay, now they're dropping down the Shanks. We're going to let them have that. They're going to go 12 into 7. We're probably going to try and save this right here. We're going to 0 cost 3K. We'll get rid of one of these red rocks maybe. And then 2K, I don't know what all that was. They just go ahead and give up. They did not have enough. Because next turn, we were going to go all in, and we were going to be able to counter out of this 7 into 7 here. We could get out of that easy with a 1K. But next turn, guys, right here, we were just going to red rock this card, swing 9, swing 9. And that actually, and that wasn't even... We might not have even gone for game, actually. Hang on, let me do the math real quick. If we red rock the Shanks off the board, then we'll have 4 Dawn left. So, excuse me, we'll go swing 9, swing 11. Or probably swing 10 would be the safer bet. And in his hand, he had a single 1K counter. He was going to get a 2K out of life, so he could only get out of an 8K attack with his leader effect. Good game to my opponent there. Against Shanks, I would not stick around for too long, guys. Try to rush in, whittle them down, and try to build your board as fast as possible. Try to take second away from them, and just establish a presence on the board as fast as possible. Okay, so that was the first game. That was against Red Shanks. Now we got a game versus Blue Doffy. Okay, full screen, 2x speed, volume is off. Here we go. And we did get to go first here. And we're actually going to play out the Duck this time in case they're running Pudding. That was the other card. I knew I'd forgotten to mention a card, guys, when we were going over the deck breakdown. Pudding is another card we have to really consider for this leader. Okay, so we're going to play out the Duck here, though, early on to keep our hand size as low as possible so they can't hit us with a super high-value Pudding. And, okay, so right here, we're going to play out the Chopper. We get out this Tony Chopper. And, again, we're just trying to fill the board out here. I should have played out the Hiking Bear, though. That was a mistake. I should not have played out the Uzi. I should have played out the Hiking Bear. That is something I would take back for sure. They're going to go 4 into 4. We're fine with that. We're just trying to get these cards out of our hands so you can't hit us with any kind of crazy Pudding here. We're going to 2K counter out of the 6, and here we go. In this situation here, we're going to swing 5 into 4. We're going to play out a Tony Chopper, and he's going to 2K counter out. We're going to play out the Cavendish, give him rush, draw a card, attack with this, draw 2, trash 1, and we've got 3 2K counters in our hand. And we're going to swing 3 into life. We're going to get the 2K counter back to our hand from the board, and we're in a pretty decent spot now. We're in a pretty good spot. Let's see what they choose to do. Gravity Blade, I think they're on their 7 Dawn turn. Okay, they're going to attack into my board here. I think I'm going to give him a 2K. Yeah, I think I'm just going to give him the 2K here to force him to invest more into this turn. Because he has a 6 Dawn turn left. Let's see what okay, he plays out Doflamingo. He's going to set up his top cards, and he's probably going to attack 7 into my Chopper again and cheat out a... Okay, it was just a buggy. Seems good. We're not upset about that. We're going to 2K out of that very aggressively. Oh, nice. We got a great card from the top of our deck here. Let's see what happens now. We're going to swing 5 into face. I think I should have swung 6 at the Weevil first, to be fair, but that's okay. Let's see if he chooses to take this. He should choose to take this. Okay, he does. That was the right call for sure. And he draws the card with Perfume Femur, the trigger. We're going to go 6 into 6 here. I should have done that first, guys. That was a slight play mistake. Okay, they're going to 1K counter out. We're going to go ahead and play out the Boa here. We could also play out the Rayleigh, but no, we're going to play out the Boa, locking down the Weevil, swinging 8 into it, and now we get to draw a card with our leader effect. Okay, so guys, our board is actually completely stacked right now. We're in a very, very good position to win this game. What are they going to do? They're going to play out a Boa. Okay, that's a pretty defensive play, but they'll probably have a good follow-up. They'll attach a Dawn to their leader. They have 5 Dawn left for the turn. They set their top 3 cards. Let's see what they put on top. Maybe a Trafalgar Law. Playing out the 4 cost Trafalgar Law here would be very strong for them. They're going to swing 10 into 5. Yep, now they can bounce the blocker out of the way. However, I don't really care about the blocker, do I, guys? I'm going to let that card go right there. And now we're going to swing everything out at face. We're going to draw 2, trash 1. We're going to swing for 8 more at face. And then we're going to slam down this Silver's Rayleigh, pop his card off the board, give our guy rush, and swing in for 8. And we're drawing a card. Oh, man, this is not, and they just had to give us, what was that, 2K, 1K, 1K to get out of that. This is not a position you want to be in as the Doffy player. I would have probably taken that instead of giving 3 cards. They're going to play out a 10-cost Kaido. That's not a bad play. That's not a bad play right there. But we are still in a very good position. We're going to do a draw 2, trash 1 here with the Cavendish. He'll probably give me, he didn't have a 2K last turn. He's got, oh, and then okay, so he did miscounter there, but he could have given me a 2K. But guys, all we were going to do this turn was fill out the board. I don't even think we replay the Rayleigh. I think what we actually do in this situation, we swing 6 with Cavendish like we just did. We swing 8 with the Boa Hancock, and then we were going to play out the Cavendish, give him rush and swing in for 7. We would actually put a Dawn on him, because then I think we would have 3 Dawn left, right? Because it'd be 4 plus 2 is 6, and then add 1 Dawn to that to swing for 7, and then play out either the Tony Chopper or even one of the Tony Choppers, either the blocker. Blocker would probably have been the right call there, and then from there we could play out the, pass the turn. And we have a lot of counter power in hand at that point. It would have changed things. But my opponent was definitely up against the ropes there, but it wasn't over either, because he was probably just going to play out another Kaido. That's the crazy part, right? He was probably just going to play out another Kaido, but we were putting him on lethal for next turn. We were definitely threatening lethal for next turn. They were in a lot of trouble, but they did go ahead and leave after that miscalculation. Okay, good game to my opponent, though. Very good game to my opponent. Next up, we got a game versus Blackbeard. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Not a great hand. Not a great hand at all. And let's see what we can make of this, though. We're going to play out an Uzi right away just to get an attacker on the board in case they try to play out a Searcher. We don't care if he gets rid of that Uzi. It doesn't matter at all to us. Right here, they do play very well. They make a very good play here. We just draw a card with our leader, and we play out another 2-cost card. So we're trying to make them doubt their last play there. They basically just wasted their leader effect, or so they think. I tried to make them think, like, hey, if you want to keep trashing cards from your leader effect while I play out these characters with no on-play effects that matter, be my guest. So this time, look what he does. He's like, okay, I'm not going to fall for that again. We tricked him. We're going to play out the Tony Chopper to play out a character, give him rush, swing for 6, play out another character. That's right. And we're coming in for 6. Let's see if he counters out of this. He decides, oh, he did. He did 2K counter out of that, and now it's his turn. I don't think he needed to counter out of that. I'm going to be honest. He only has 5 cards in hand. He has 5 life. I probably would have just taken it. Okay, they're going to swing for 6. 6 into 4, or 7 into 4, whatever that was. Now they're going to swing 6 into 4 here. We're just going to let that card go. They got 4 Dawn left, maybe some type of removal. Yep, they had a Shigan Finger Pistol. And then they're going to trash I bid 500 million for the leader effect. We're going to play out the Boa here. We're going to give it rush. We cannot use the effect. We're going to swing 8 into 7. Does he have a 2K counter? Let's see if he has. He does not. Or if he does have one, he didn't want to use it there. And we're just going to pass the turn. So we're actually in a pretty decent spot, all things considered here. I mean, he could use like the 6-cost event liberation to get rid of my board, but that will be his entire turn, and then we can follow up with a very aggressive next turn, just filling very wide on the board. So they're going to swing 5. We'll give him a 1K counter. No reason to take these hits too aggressively. I was really hoping he'd play out a second Burgess, because you guys see what I have in my hand on the far left there. Yeah, we have a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. Right here, there's honestly still an idea to just play out the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. We're going to swing for 8. They're going to take that. We're going to use our leader effect here. Okay, and then we got the card afterwards that we wanted. But it would have been nice if we could have played that out first, but we drew it from the leader effect. I wanted to see what kind of options we had for the turn, because I don't need to aggressively attack in here. It would just give my opponent more cards, more answers. So we play out the Boa. He did not use his leader effect. He only had like 2 cards in hand last turn. We locked down his Burgess. He's going to swing for 6, or for 5, so he's probably just going to play out the... Okay, I was going to say he's probably just going to play out the 10-cost Blackbeard, the Marshall D. Teach here. But instead he plays out Katarina Devon, and then plays out a Kuzan. No problem. There goes your blocker. We're going to swing for 8. We're going to swing for 8 more. And then I think we might just draw a card here and we'll swing for 9. Yeah, we're getting more and more answers in our hand. What is my opponent going to do here? Is he going to try to play out a 10 cost? He's just going to forfeit. He's going to concede here. We have 4 life. We have 8 cards in our hand. And whatever we play, we can give rush. So even though he can turn off our on-play effects, it doesn't really matter because I can literally slam down this 3-cost 4K chopper in my hand, attach 1 Dawn, and then pay 2 and give him rush. That would have been a 3, 4, 5, 6 Dawn investment, and I still have these 8K bodies on the board. What's he supposed to do with all this stuff? You know what I mean? It becomes a very hard position for them. Good game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, we got Red-Green Smoker. Okay, we got Red-Green Smoker next. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. Here we go. And guys, I really tried to get some of the most meta-relevant matchups I could find. Now this is a little bit off meta, the way that they're building this. It looks like with Baby 5, they're running a Don Quixote package here, but that's okay. We play out the Duckbill squad here, so we can attack into their board if we need to early on. Now, right here, we're going to go and play out the Tony Chopper, and then we're going to pass the turn. We only had 4 Dawn. If we had a 5 Dawn turn there, it would have been perfect to play out the Tony Chopper and attack with and really fill out the board. They're going to swing 6 into 4. That thing worked as a 2K counter now, right? And that was a card we got for free. Now they're finally going to use the Baby 5 here. They're going to play out a Baby 5 2K counter, which has any your turn. You can trash this character, set 2 of your Dawn as active. That might come in handy later for that new the new event they're running. They're going to swing. They're going to use their effect there. So they're just trying to fill up their hand right now. That's the main thing they're trying to do. They're trying to fix their hand. It looks like they might have whiffed a search there. I could be wrong. But we're just going to swing 3 into 1. Let's see if he wants to do that. And we're going to return the character back to our hand at the end of the turn. Now we're going to swing for 6 into 4, which is going to allow us to cheat out a character on the board. We're going to play out the Tony Chopper. And let's see what they do with that. Are they going to counter out? We almost wish they had tried to counter out of that, right? Because we had another attack coming in with the Tony Chopper. We're going to go ahead and give him rush now, swinging 5 into 1. And we're just going to set our bottom 5 cards of our deck now. There's no way they save that, and then we get the Duckbill squad back to our hand for later. Now we have 2K counters to work with for later. Right now our hand is 2K, 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 1K, and a 0-cost 3K. We have 4 life. They're going to go 8 into 4 here. Okay, we're not going to save that. We have absolutely no, desire to even save that. We're going to play out a Hiking Bear with this effect. Again, one of the nice things about using these cards is you're setting your top 5, your bottom 4 cards of your deck every time while ramping a character onto the field. Okay, so right here, okay, so it looks like, my board's completely full, but I guess I can just play out this Rayleigh, going minus there, popping that, and I'll swing 4 into 4. Does he want to save this? Sure, it's a 1K on his turn. That's fine with me. Gonna play out the Eustace Kid, but we do have the answer in our hand. We do have the answer for it in our hand with Gum Gum Red Rock, and our board is massive. They're going to go 6 into 7, so even if we did not have the Red Rock here, we could swing in and minus 3 of that card. They play out another blocker thinking that's going to help, and we hit them with a Red Rock. They leave instantly when they saw the 6 Dawn tap before I even clicked on the character, because they just knew, okay, if he gets through that, it's just going to be too aggressive, because at that point, we still have 4 Dawn left, so we would have probably just gone, okay, swing 5, 5, 5, 7, 9, or something like that. Just some crazy attack sequence there. Okay, good game to my opponent. We got one more game. A lot of these games are pretty quick because you're drawing a lot of cards. But this one is against Purple Luffy. Speed is 2x, volume is off. Here we go. And I have to say, this was the hardest matchup for me. I had to really fight for my Purple Luffy wins. It's probably the biggest counter to the deck. Okay, this was my hardest matchup for sure. I think going first against Purple Luffy is probably the better thing to do here, but we are going second. It's one of the few matchups I think we should try to go first and slam down a Tony Chopper and start putting on aggression on them, right away. And another thing I noticed is if they get the 7-cost 8K Luffy out with a 5-cost 6K Sangoro or a 4-cost 6K Zoro, it's hard to dig yourself out of that hole, guys. They put you in a rough spot. Now, right here, he gets aggressive with this Sanji. I was so relieved to see that Sanji, because I can't tell you how many games I lost where they just went 7 Dawn, play out the 7-cost Luffy into the 4 or 5-cost character that goes with it. And that's a horrible feeling, and I just can't get around it. There's just no way for me to get out of it. It's too strong, basically. I'm not saying it's broken, by the way. I'm saying it's too hard for me to get out of. It's too strong. I can't get out of it. So here we go. So next up, we're going to have them play out. Let's see. They're on their 9 Dawn turn. They're going to hit us with a Charlotte Lin. They're going to push our Boa back life probably, or our Tony Chopper, the 3-cost 5K. The Boa would be the right call here, in my personal opinion. They push back the chopper. I don't really care about the chopper. He did his job early on, and he even ate a removal for me. Okay, so we're happy with that. Now, watch this. We're going to go 8 into 5. He'll probably take this. He has 3 life. Yeah, not taking would have been kind of crazy there. We're going to play out the Boa, lock down their Lin. We're swinging in for 8. They'll probably 2K out of this one. We'll see what they choose to do. They have, I mean, that would be the best option here. I would try to 2K out of this because he sees my board. Nothing's changing next turn. They're going to, yeah, like I said, they counter out of this, and now it's going to be their turn, but they cannot swing in with the Charlotte Lin. We have locked that card down for now. They play out the Luffy Taro, but luckily this is a lot later than it was, you know, in the games I played before. So I might finally be able to deal with it in this situation. We actually have a board. We've slowed them down enough. It's about going wide and tall against Nefeltari Vivi. It's like my gravity blades aren't strong enough anymore at that point, and then my red rocks don't do enough. So they go 7 into 3 there. They hit me with a Gamma Knife. Very strong tech choice. That is what I run as well in my list. And right here, I'm going to go 9 into 7. Does he have a 2K, 1K? Oh, man. This guy is punishing us, man. But we lock down the Sangoro, so he can't attack him with that. And then we swing in for 9 more with the Boa. So we're still in this game. We're still in this game. We had a very strong follow-up play there. They're going to go 10 into 8. This is another mistake they're doing right now. They're going for my board. If the person is listening, whoever I was playing against, going for my board here was the only chance I had. Like, you going at my board was the only chance I really had here. Because if all those attacks went in my face, I'm pretty much at 1 life this turn. Maybe I'd be at 2 life and your whole board is still there. Now, they did get rid of one of my characters, but hey, again, I'm not too upset with that. We're going to go 8 into 6. What's he going to do here? Is he going to use the Gum Gum Giant? The answer is yes, he is. He's going to Gum Gum Giant, 2K, and trashing a 2K from hand, and then he's going to go up to 10, and now we're going to swing 8 more into it. This is going to cost him 2 more cards from hand. I have 4 life. I have 5 cards in hand. And I have 2 8Ks on the board. He's going to play out Eustace Kid. Now, this turn, I would go 10 into one of my characters. That was the right play, but I actually have the counter power to get out of it. How does he want to divvy up the remaining Dawn? Remember, that's a 6K Luffy Taro this turn from the Rayleigh's effect. He's going to go 9. He's going to go 9 into 8. I am definitely going to 2K counter out of that. He's going to go 6 at face. We're just going to have to take it. Now we get to go for the board. Now we get to go for the board, guys. Very, very strong. We're actually going to pay 7 just to get that card off the board. We're going to go 9 into 8, excuse me. He counters out, so now I'm going to go 10, probably just 8 into 8 here and draw a card with my leader effect. Yeah, so we did that for card advantage. Pulse. We have to talk about that play. In this situation right here, why not go for the Lin? Well, the answer is I'm not getting out of either of those attacks. That's the truth of the matter here, is I'm not getting out of an 8K or a 9K. So if I can save 1 Dawn so I can use my leader effect for 2, I'm actually just going to do that. And looking back, the only thing I think I would have maybe done differently is actually just swing for 8 with my Boa. Swing 8 into 8. You want to give me a 2K counter like he did? Be my guest. Now I swing 8 more into 8, and I have 3 Dawn to work with. Maybe I could have played out a block or something like that, but I might have drawn that with the... well, no, excuse me, I haven't used my leader effect, so I would have been able to play out the Tony Chopper and protect my more relevant characters on the board. Okay, but getting rid of it like this is fine. We got the last card out of their hand, and now we have 2 2Ks and a blocker in our hand and a Cavendish. We're going to start crawling back into this game. They're going to go 12 into 8. That's fine. Again, they're going for our board. We're okay with that. Okay, well, now they're going to go 11 into 8. Now watch this, guys. We're going to counter out aggressively, and watch what we do. We've got an entire play here for him. We're going to go 9 into 9. He has to give me the last card in his hand or his card's gone. He does it, and watch this. We give this card Rush with 3 Dawn left exactly. 9 into 9. Draw 2, trash 1, and now this game is over, right? We are at 3 life. They cannot rush us down anymore. We have a blocker in hand. We have removal in hand. We have it all now. They're going to go 10 into 6. You can have that. I wish I could have kept it, but oh well. And now, okay, now we get to remove the Sangoro, swing in for 8. We're going to give our Rayleigh Rush, draw a card, swing in for 8 more, and that's it. There's nothing more they can do in this situation. They're going to play out a Trafalgar Law, doing a searching for anything they can. They get a 4-cost Onami, so that's actually not bad, but it's just not going to be enough to get through what we have on the board. At least I don't think it is. Okay, so they have 3 Dawn left for the turn. What did they do? They just did a Gamma Knife, and now they have 3 Dawn left. They're going to go 8, probably 7 into 3. And guess what? I have exactly enough to get out of that. I had to do the math. I'm like, you know what? Hey, that's game. Nothing they can do now. They go ahead and tap out, because what I was going to do from there, imagine how this goes, guys. We swing in for, we don't even have to go all in, but we can just swing in for 8, swing in for 8. We actually got a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger coming out from the top of our deck. We could have just cleared these 2 cards, swing 8, draw a card, and now we're just constantly outpacing them, right? We're just constantly getting more from them than they're getting from us. And another thing we could do actually was we were going to draw a Gravity Blade for the turn, but don't even worry about the Gravity Blade. Just use our Gum Gum Red Rock to bottom deck their blocker, swing 9, and that's going to get every card out of their hand. They might actually survive from that and just draw a card from there. Or we could just go all in. What am I talking about? Well, no, we do have to get the blocker off the board. We only have 4 Dawn afterwards. So again, I think I would literally just swing 9 and draw a card and be like, I still got 3 life, dude. I'm drawing cards like crazy. You just can't keep up. But you could definitely have gone swing 9, swing 11. That would have been another option. And that's probably, if I'm doing the math correctly, I think that wins no matter what. Good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. That was a tough game. That was my hardest game of the entire testing that I did, was against Purple Luffy. Okay. So let's go back over to the deck list. We'll do a few last-minute revisions here. Some cards we're going to have to consider going forward let me bring them up real quick. So we got the 4-cost. I need the blue cards. So 4-cost Pudding maybe has a 1 or 2 of in the deck. We do move through cards very quickly. Another a 2-cost card that we need to consider is the one I said earlier, the 2-cost blocker. Where did he go? Oh gosh, here he is. This guy right here. This is definitely a consideration, this Richie card. Then there's also, for the 6-cost slot, this Jozu. See, there were games against Purple Luffy, the Boa Hancock might just be strictly better, because we're actually locking down their 7, 8, 9, 10 cost characters. It doesn't matter. Other than Luffy, though, see, now, some games I lost. I was not able... You know, Boa can, up to one of your opponent's characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot attack until the end of their next turn. So there were times where I tried to play out the Boa, and it's like, okay, I have to lock down the Sangoro or whatever other character. I can't even lock down the 7-cost or the 9-cost Luffy, because this leader literally can't do that. And in those situations, Jozu might just strictly be better. I don't know. It's hard to say, but that is something we have to consider for later. Then for events, let me go and put some of those up. I think Rad Beam and 1-cost Guard Point is definitely a consideration. Maybe even Divine Departure, because remember, there's no searcher limitation on this. We're doing draw 2, trash 1 from Cavendish, and we're just drawing cards with our Nefeltari Vivi. So there is some stuff going on there. Oh, the other one that I wanted to mention was the Sanji. This was another really strong consideration for the deck, is this Sanji. And if we do go up Sanji's, remember this card right here, this is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1k counter, Tony Chopper, animal Straw Hat Crew type character. It has Dawn ×1 when attacking, trash 1 card from your hand, and add up to 1 Straw Hat type character other than Tony Chopper with a cost of 4 or less from your trash to your hand. This card... We don't have anything we can grab from the trash with it just yet, because all of our cards are named Tony Chopper, or they're not Straw Hat Crew. So if we go Sanji, then we will have at least a target, because it does have to be a character card, by the way. It cannot be just a Straw Hat type card other than Tony Chopper. It has to be a Straw Hat Crew type character card. So that'd be a recurable 2k counter we could get back with this effect. There's some other options as well, because there's a whole nother idea. If we can make it work, maybe we do put in the early... like just Nami package. Let me put 1-cost Nami in here and the 3-cost Sanji. Maybe there is an idea. Let me find it real quick. Where is it? This card right here. There might be an idea to just run, excuse me, a few of these early extra Straw Hat cards for Nami, right? We can run out the Nami here early on to do some quick searching to find our Tony Chopper or this Sanji, and then we just play those out on curve. That would really help our going first curve. Our going second curve is disgusting. It's actually just so good. And if we're running this 2-cost blocker Richie like my buddy Gabriel was running, then then we got some, then we have another potential turn 2 play, right? So good stuff here. There's a lot to think about. Is there a card that you're running, guys? Any of the Nefeltari Vivi enthusiasts out there? Is there a card that you're running that you really like that I did not show off in today's video? By all means, say it down in the comments section below. But these are the cards I'm kind of leaning towards right now. And again, I'm open. Oh, there was one other card. There was one other card, and I can't believe I forgot to mention it earlier. Kairos. This is another great card. I don't know if it's technically better than Jozu in this deck. I'm just being honest, guys. It's a great card. It's huge. It does help the odd curve. But Jozu bounces a 6 or less. He's 1 Dawn less, and he has a 1K counter. So that is something we have to really consider going forward, is Jozu versus Boa versus Kairos. I don't think they can all work in the deck together. Maybe they can. What version are you guys running to make it work? Maybe there is some options there. Okay, that's it though. Hope you guys enjoyed. This leader was a lot of fun. There was a lot of stuff going on in today's games. Oh, let me look up one more thing. I want to check out the 2,000 cost, or the 2K counters. And if we do choose the more Straw Hat version, maybe we also run Tony Chopper. Just another great 4-cost card to play out on curve going second. So there's definitely some, I'll even add this to the list real quick just for stuff to think about. There's an idea here. Okay, I think that's it, because I knew there was one more 2K counter I wanted to talk about. I'm sure I'm missing something, guys. I always miss something. Maybe even the Dracula Mihawk for your odd curve, because then it ends up being on your 7 Dawn turn. You play out the Mihawk, you add a Dawn to him, leader effect, pay 2, give him rush, draw a card, attack in, draw 2, trash 2. So it ends up being a draw 3, trash 2 in that situation, and he has rush. So there's also some ideas here. I'm just going to add this to the list so I don't forget about it. And yeah, this is probably something I will revisit in the near future. This list feels very strong currently, guys. It feels very strong, and I think there's plenty of room for improvement. All right, I'm done. That's enough. All right, let me go ahead and bring up the outro screen here. Guys, I appreciate everybody who makes it this long in the videos. Thank you for supporting me in whatever ways you do, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG player affiliate link, whatever you're doing to help me out. I really appreciate it. Big shout out to everybody who supports me through Patreon, PayPal, and donations. To all the Playmat supporters, YouTube members, Discord community, thank you guys so much for helping in all the ways you do. All right, I'm done. Please don't forget to stop by the stream tonight. We're going to be talking more about Silver's Rayleigh, the new leader, trying to make that work and talking about that more in the, we're going to be talking about it probably the entire stream tonight, okay? So be sure to check that out if you get a chance. All right, I'm done. Till next time, hope y'all enjoyed. Peace.